He was able to do it because, you know, like financially, I was supporting the idea, and I believed you could do it. He had moved to California and was working with acting coaches, and his dad didn't know that he was actually doing that.
Right, they don't even understand that you know, the way we grew up, you're supposed to spend no more than 10 or 20% of what you make. You know what I'm saying? So you can have something.
Yeah. What's the best memory of 50 Cent?
Best memory of 50 Cent? Ever since I met 50 Cent, he's always been stand up and probably the most truthful person I've ever met.
Things are getting intense. Big Meech has just made a serious accusation against 50 Cent, claiming that 50 turned his own son, Lil Meech, against him. Rumors suggest that after Big Meech connected with Rick Ross following his release, the tension between him and 50 Cent escalated significantly. At first, Lil Meech tried to stay loyal to 50 Cent, making it clear that he respected him and valued loyalty. He even publicly stated his respect for 50. However, now both Big Meech and Lil Meech seem to be shifting their allegiance quickly. Reports indicate they've openly aligned themselves with Rick Ross, which has left Big Meech furious. The situation intensified after 50 Cent publicly criticized Big Meech, accusing him of poor parenting and being a negative influence on Lil Meech. He called out Big Meech for reckless behavior and irresponsible spending, suggesting that he was living carelessly without considering the consequences.
Elliot charged me $200,000 just for this Cuban. This Cuban is like 1,100 grams. It's chunky, real big. I really can't have this on for longer than 3-4 hours. My neck started hurting. You know, you might find a regular Cuban for 50 or for 100 maybe, but you know, it's 200 just for a kilo.
So what's the pendant cost?
3 just for the pendant. Right here, this is Antarctica. It's the big boy. This is Christine called it Antarctica. It's the chandelier. I might have seen DJ Khaled with this song. It's that big boy, you know.
How much is it worth?
$2 million.
This public criticism has pushed Big Meech to retaliate. The Flannery father-son duo is now allegedly planning their response, with word circulating that they're collaborating with Rick Ross and Floyd Mayweather to create their own version of the BM show.
You know what I'm saying? From the hood to Hollywood that you gotta have, you know what I'm saying? Especially when you getting it. You know what I'm saying? See, people never seen how I really put it down, because unless you were part of that, I'm not gonna let you see that. The only thing you're gonna see is us enjoying ourselves. That's what you're supposed to.
However, some fans are skeptical. Many are already suggesting that Big Meech and his son might be overestimating their new allies. There's talk that Ross and Mayweather might not be as supportive as they appear, and that Big Meech could end up losing everything by trusting the wrong people. So now, the question is, what exactly is Big Meech planning to do to retaliate against 50 Cent? And what were 50 Cent's exact comments about Big Meech's parenting? Let's get into the details. Big Meech is not willing to let 50 Cent tarnish his reputation without responding. After 50 publicly accused him of being a poor role model to Lil Meech, Big Meech decided to fight back. As the head of BM, he's reportedly planning a serious counter move and is determined to change the narrative. This entire conflict kicked off when 50 Cent distanced himself from Lil Meech and hinted that the BM series might be coming to an end. Lil Meech, unwilling to accept this quietly, immediately reached out to 50 directly to confront the situation, trying to stay in 50 Cent's good graces. Lil Meech made it clear that the photo of Big Meech with Rick Ross, the picture that triggered all this drama, was purely business. There were no hard feelings involved. Lil Meech messaged 50 saying, F Ross, but he gave my dad some money so he can cover his bills until our next season begins. This internet stuff is throwing me off, man. You know me in real life. However, 50 Cent wasn't buying any of it. He responded sharply, essentially telling Lil Meech that his time on the show was over. If Big Meech and his son think they can outmaneuver 50, they might be in for a tough lesson. 50 Cent didn't stop there. He mocked Lil Meech, first calling him next season Little Ninja, and then followed up with another post joking that since Lil Meech lost his BM role, his next job might be on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. 50 even added, I'll give Mona Scott a call for him later today. But that was just the start. 50 continued targeting both Big Meech and Rick Ross, criticizing their parenting and exposing past incidents. He brought up old footage showing Lil Meech with Ross' daughter, Toy Roberts, from when they were previously involved, using that footage. 50 aimed more criticism at both Meech and Ross. He highlighted how Ross failed to support the Flannery family while Big Meech was incarcerated. 50 posted, "Why didn't old boy look out for Meech and send him to acting school? Big screech. All your people who were free did nothing for him. You come home thinking you're the Black Pablo Escobar and messed him up. That's cold-blooded." He also made it clear that he was the one who supported the Flannery family during Big Meech's prison time. Dropping another bombshell, 50 revealed that Lil Meech wasted all the earnings from BM. He wrote, "I helped your family make over $5 million alleged dollars. It's not my fault, it's all gone now." The fans reacted strongly. Some criticized 50 Cent for cutting off Lil Meech so quickly after Big Meech's association with Rick Ross, while others defended him, arguing that after everything he had done for the Flannery family, his sense of betrayal was justified.
That's Lil Meech right there. And if you don't know, he's the son of Big Meech. And if you don't know who that is, well, Big Meech was one of the biggest drug dealers in Detroit, blah, 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 blah. Anyways, long story short, he went in jail. He came out of jail and he started linking up with 50 Cent. Now, bear in mind, 50 Cent made BMF and put Lil Meech on BMF without any acting skills.
The situation was escalating quickly, and 50 Cent showed no signs of backing down. Meanwhile, several major figures in the industry shared their thoughts on the unfolding drama. One of them was Boosie, who strongly disapproved of how Lil Meech handled the situation with 50 Cent. Boosie criticized Lil Meech for being too respectful in his message, especially after 50 publicly disrespected his father. Boosie made it clear that if he had been in Lil Meech's position, he would have responded far more aggressively toward 50 for coming at his dad like that. However, 50 Cent didn't let Boosie's comments go unanswered. He fired back, stating that he had done more for Lil Meech than Big Meech ever had. 50 shared a clip from Boosie's interview and captioned it, "I did more for Mimi than anyone in his life." He added that if Lil Meech ever got into legal trouble, he was always the first person Lil Meech called for help, and he had bailed him out every time. 50 also revealed that he once paid for Lil Meech to enter rehab after discovering he was experimenting with gas canisters that are sometimes misused at parties. In another Instagram post, 50 explained why things went sour between him, Big Meech, and Lil Meech, suggesting that jealousy was at the heart of it. Big Meech felt uneasy about the close bond between 50 and Lil Meech while he was incarcerated. 50 wrote, "I thought about it. I think he was uncomfortable with my relationship with Mimi. I'm telling Mimi I don't want him doing certain things, and he's telling him that he used to do those things like it's fine. I tell Mimi, chill, stop spending all your money, but he's hearing from his dad how much money he burned through. People don't know I had to send Mimi to rehab." Even actor Russell Hornsby noted that the situation had gotten out of hand, pointing out that 50 Cent seemed to have plenty of evidence to support his claims. Instead of taking a step back, Big Meech and Lil Meech are doubling down. They're making bold moves seemingly to spite 50, openly declaring full loyalty to Rick Ross, the same Rick Ross that Lil Meech had been criticizing just weeks earlier in his message to 50, where he claimed he had no respect for him. But that's not even the most surprising part. The father-son pair is now connecting with none other than Floyd Mayweather, one of 50 Cent's biggest rivals. It's safe to assume that 50 isn't pleased with this new alliance. Recently, Lil Meech appeared in Miami alongside Ross and Floyd, making sure 50 was aware. He posted pictures with both, captioning them "Real Power," clearly throwing shade at 50's Power series. A few days later, Lil Meech shared another cryptic post on Instagram, this time featuring both him and Big Meech with Floyd, accompanied by a shushing face emoji, suggesting they might be planning something behind the scenes. Rumors are circulating that Big Meech and Lil Meech are about to enter into a business venture with Floyd, potentially as a form of retaliation against 50.
Well, Big Meech and Lil Meech looks like they are officially partners with Floyd Mayweather. Now, they're being very tight-lipped about the venture, but my guess is it is going to be big. Floyd Mayweather is a very, very competitive person, and he will pull out all the stops in his attempt to beat 50 Cent.
It seems the two are taking a risky path, and 50 might not see what's coming. For now, no one has a definite idea of what Big Meech and his son are planning with Floyd and Ross, but speculation is growing. Floyd Mayweather recently issued strong warnings to Charleston White, telling him to stay out of the Big Meech situation.
And I done put everybody in position. I'm with 50. While you were gone, Rick Ross didn't reach out to your son, try to put him in his position where he can make $5 million. Did nobody reach out to you? Rick Ross didn't give you no money off using your name, your likeness or whatever in that song. He didn't give you no kickbacks for that. If he really fucking with you, he could have put the concert on without putting you in the mix. But they playing tit for tat.
There's also talk that they could be working on a completely new show or film about the Black Mafia family, entirely separate from 50 Cent's BM series on Stars. That would be a bold step. However, the drama doesn't end there. Just a few weeks ago, Rick Ross announced his intentions to produce his own BM movie. But Ross may need to reconsider his plans before moving forward.
Yeah. So look, I do want to do a BMF film because you've been entertained by a lackluster, small budget series. Now it's time to do a big budget film. Which director? Shout out to my homie F. Gary Gray, Antoine Foucault, what's up? Tarantino, it's a lot of legends. This is gonna be big, I can feel it. I'm just talking.
According to reports, he would need 50 Cent's approval to even start the project. Sources close to the situation told TMZ that 50 Cent holds the exclusive rights to the BM story for television and film, and that isn't expected to change anytime soon. That gives 50 Cent significant control despite all the ongoing conflict. 50 Cent's G-Unit film division is already working on Tammy Cowan's life story, aiming to expand the BM saga even further. Now, many people are siding with 50 and criticizing Lil Meech for mishandling his finances. Word is that Lil Meech spent all the money he earned from BM recklessly, treating it like monopoly money. Insiders report that he spent millions on designer clothes, expensive jewelry, and luxury cars, without saving anything for the future.
Elliot charged me $200,000 just for this Cuban. This Cuban is like 1,100 grams. It's chunky, real big. I already can't have this on for longer than 3 or 4 hours. My neck started hurting. You know, you might find a regular Cuban for 50 or for 100 maybe, but you know, it's 200 just for a kilo.
What's the pendant cost?
3 just for the pendant. Right here, this is Antarctica. It's the big boy. This is Christine called it Antarctica. It's the chandelier. I might have seen DJ Khaled with this song. It's that big boy, you know.
How much is it worth?
2 million.
According to reports, Lil Meech burned through his entire BM earnings in just a few years, showing off his purchases on social media. He posted photos wearing custom chrome hearts jeans and even bragged about spending $2 million on a diamond-encrusted watch, which many found excessive. It's estimated that he blew around $5 million on lavish items, cars, clothing, jewelry without making a single wise investment. Tony Yeo even revealed that Lil Meech was acting entitled, going as far as asking artists like Lil Baby for money to support Big Meech. To make it worse, Yale claimed that while Lil Meech was requesting financial help, he was simultaneously spending $100,000 on designer jeans. That kind of behavior raised a lot of eyebrows. Adding to this, Lil Meech himself admitted that when he first connected with 50 Cent, he was completely lost, had no clear direction, and didn't know what he was doing.
Still trying to find myself. My dad was calling me from jail every day. He was like, man, what you gonna do? I said, I don't know. I always knew I wanted to be my own person. It's just hard, you know, to live up to my dad's name. And he called me one day, he's like, man, they looking at Terrence Howard and Nipsey Hussle. And I don't know if you're gonna be able to play me, but you gotta go to acting class so you can get ready.
Looks like 50 might have been the only one who tried to help him get it together.
So I met 50. 50 put me in acting class for 2 years in LA. Invested in me, paid for the acting class. I had to go every day, 2 times a day, 5 days a week. In the morning, in the afternoon, come back home, study again, do the same thing the next day.
Wow, a ball player.
Yeah, but I put in the work though, and it showed me that 50 couldn't get me the job. I had to get myself the job. My dad couldn't get me the job. They would have hired somebody else that already had acting experience. I had no experience.
In the end, it has all unraveled. The situation continues to escalate, but 50 Cent recognized potential in Lil Meech early on. He took him under his wing and personally paid for his acting classes for 2 years. That's a significant commitment. 50 didn't have to do that. He could have easily hired a professional actor and saved money. Instead, he gave Lil Meech a major opportunity and a chance to build a career. One would expect that after 50 made such an investment in him, Lil Meech would have been more cautious not to jeopardize everything. But instead, it seems like he assumed the lavish lifestyle would simply continue, with people continuing to hand him millions along the way. That reflects a level of entitlement that's hard to overlook. When the conflict between 50 Cent and Big Meech first began, many fans sympathized with Lil Meech. They even criticized 50, accusing him of being unfair by punishing Lil Meech for his father's actions. However, public opinion has started to shift. After Lil Meech aligned himself with Rick Ross and Floyd Mayweather and made it very public, fans are now rethinking their stance and questioning his loyalty. People are beginning to question Lil Meech's actions. It's not a good look, especially considering that just weeks ago, he was vocal about having no respect for Ross and expressed full loyalty to 50 Cent. Now, it appears he's changed his stance, navigating both sides skillfully. Adding to the controversy are new rumors suggesting that Big Meech and Lil Meech are collaborating with Ross and Floyd to create a new BMF movie, which has left many fans frustrated. It's clear that Lil Meech is taking risks, and many are speculating how long he can maintain this balancing act before it backfires. This entire situation has evolved into one of the biggest conflicts in the industry, with no resolution in sight. Some believe the plan may not even be feasible, since Big Meech has already sold his life rights to Tammy Cowens, who partnered with 50 Cent to bring the original BMF series to Stars. This means Big Meech no longer holds legal control over his own story. Tammy now controls those rights. If Big Meech and his son intend to partner with Rick Ross and Floyd Mayweather to produce their own version of the BM story, the outcome remains uncertain. Will they attempt to repurchase the rights? Are they planning to present an entirely different version of the story? Or is this simply a strategic move to challenge 50 Cent after everything that's happened? The drama continues to escalate. But now, I want to hear your thoughts. Was 50 Cent correct in saying Big Meech has been a negative influence on Lil Meech? And what's your take on Big Meech and his son teaming up with Ross and Floyd Mayweather? Is this a smart move to regain control of their narrative, or are they heading toward their biggest mistake yet? Share your opinions in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe and check out the next video for more updates on this ongoing BMF drama.